A headline from InfoWars for every day of January 2024. Portland poop crisis triggers bacteria outbreak normally found in third world. Tale of two New Year's Eves. Green Day bashes Trump. Meanwhile, Trump celebrates at Mar-a-Lago with Vanilla Ice and Ninja Turtles. Epstein bombshell. Forget the client list. The FBI is hiding thousands of videotapes used to blackmail Epstein's twisted clients. Why are so many Californians dying? It begins. Epstein docs revealed. Heart damage. COVID jabs cause Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, research shows. Biden says Trump echoing the same exact language used in Nazi Germany. Pathetic. MSNBC host mocked for crying over January 6th. Huge explosion rocks Fort Worth, Texas hotel. 10 injured and potential casualties. Aaron Rodgers responds to Jimmy Kimmel feud. Drops massive red pills to ESPN audience. Judge Engoron bars Trump from giving closing arguments in rigged New York civil trial. Clown World. Canadian police warn posting videos of package thieves could violate their privacy. American journalist who exposed Biden crime family and Vladimir Zelensky killed in Ukrainian custody. Petition introduced to remove Biden from Illinois ballot using 14th Amendment. Majority of Americans think COVID vaccines linked to unexplained deaths. Military coup against Trump publicly announced by desperate Democrat leaders. Collusion? January 6 committee inserted itself into Fani Willis's Georgia case against Trump. European Commission president claims disinformation the world's gravest threat of 2024. WAPO latest outlet telling Americans doing own research is bad. Alex Soros tells WEF Trump ruined democracy. Hospitals injecting staff with live Ebola vaccine that sheds in Colorado, warns doctor. Dana White shuts down woke reporter. Free speech, people can say whatever they want. WEF members claim coffee bad for environment. Bombshell audio. GOP official caught trying to bribe Kerry Lake not to run for Senate. Texas troopers arrest illegal alien smuggler wanted for murder in Mexico. Soros-controlled MSNBC calls for the banning of Alex Jones' video game. Historian warns Satanists founded and controlled worldwide leftist movement. How movies are used to precondition the masses to accept dystopian slavery. MSNBC demands Alex Jones' video game be banned on Steam in insane meltdown. WHO head denies UN plan for world government. Learn the true history of the most evil institution on Earth. Fire engulfs massive chicken plant in Texas. A headline for every day of February 2024. Hidden camera. Top Biden White House security official admits Sleepy Joe has dementia. Illegals freed after beating NYPD officers and flip off Americans upon release. Eagle Pass officials increase security and restrict media access after FBI warns of potential terror attack. NYC launches $53 million program to issue prepaid credit cards to illegal migrant families. Chinese military studying cognitive attacks against U.S. population. Replacements. The number of people pouring over the southern border each year now exceeds U.S. birth count. Gaslighting. Biden claims only reason border not secure is Donald Trump. NBC News runs hit piece on libs of TikTok claiming posts linked to bomb threats. Supreme Court Justice Jackson caught lying about Trump in open court. Michael Rappaport admits he was duped by MSM's very fine people Trump hoax. Global economic war is coming, and the threat to the US dollar is real. Schumer Act would require pro-Ukraine lawmakers to serve on front lines. Kamala Harris ready to serve if Biden removed due to poor mental state. UK government labels George Orwell, Aldous Huxley, and Shakespeare extremists. Who had Russian nukes in space on their election year disruption bingo card? Will globalists stage nuclear or EMP false flag to escalate war with Russia? East Palestine, Ohio residents greet Joe Biden with "Let's Go Brandon" chants, "Too little, too late" signs. State Department insider reveals how the military started its censorship campaign against U.S. citizens after Trump victory. NYPD mocked after unveiling overweight female dance team as crime soars. Pathetic. HBO's John Oliver tries to bribe Justice Clarence Thomas to get the F off Supreme Court. Comedy extravaganza, men and women's brains are different, claim scientists. IRS officials admits IRS has no problem going after small people and putting people in prison and destroying people's lives. Trudeau admits conspiracy theorists successfully undermining mainstream media. She doesn't have any choice in the matter. Vivek warns Democrats plan to replace Biden with Michelle Obama. Governor Newsom praises Nikki Haley, one of the Democrat Party's better surrogates. Deep State used U.S. intelligence agencies and DOJ to illegally terrorize Trump supporters. Man claims he was hired by Ukraine to assassinate Tucker Carlson. Communist cultural revolution happening now in America warns Chinese immigrant. Thousands of migrant children have gone missing from sponsor homes, probe reveals. A headline for every day of March 2024. Israel opens fire on crowd of 1,000 Gazans waiting for food, killing over 100. CNN calls massacre a chaotic incident. The USA is in a crisis of tyranny. WTF? Democrat lawmaker proposes child sex dolls for pedophiles. SNL mocks Biden cronies covering up his declining mental and physical fitness. Mayorkas responds. Confirmed. Chinese troops invading U.S. God is going to cut the New World Order down. Media claims assassination attempt on Zelensky after Russian missile strikes near motorcade. President Biden delivers the darkest, most un-American speech given by a president. Blaze journalist gives update on Biden regime arresting him for filming on January 6th. More journalists will be arrested by the Biden DOJ. Liz Cheney and January 6th committee suppressed exonerating evidence of Trump's push for National Guard at Capitol. Thought police snitches. Bill in Washington offers $2,000 rewards to residents who report neighbors guilty of wrong speak. Andrew Tate and brother arrested in Romania on UK rape warrant. Climate change data is based on fraud, and scientists around the world are pushing back against the narrative. Bill Gates' GMO mosquitoes unleash 400% increase in dengue fever in Brazil. Now they're begging for his vaccines to stop the outbreak. Kremlin slams U.S. distortion of Putin's words on nuclear weapons. Adobe's AI Firefly erases white people just like Google Gemini. There is no such thing as long COVID, say health officials. Biden admin preparing toughest ever auto emission standards. More than 1 million Haitians set to immigrate to U.S. as they flee cannibalistic gang warfare. Pfizer vaccine manufacturing plant spills more than 1,000 gallons of harmful methylene chloride chemical. Goldman says office mortgages are living on borrowed time. Ethics Council says restricting freedoms may be necessary to fight climate change. Kate Middleton announces cancer diagnosis as many suspect COVID jab to blame. Flashback. State Department's Victoria Nuland warns Russia will receive nasty surprises. Pope says not taking the COVID vaccine is an act of suicide, refuses to condemn transhumanist mRNA vaccine tech. Genocide Joe. White House supported Israel despite knowing they were indiscriminately bombing civilians in Gaza. Cop corruption. San Antonio police found to be protecting human smuggling as side gigs for extra cash. Oregon is waging a war against small farms. Great replacement theory is already a reality in Michigan as state pays residents $500 a month to house illegals. Woman receives FBI visit over ex-post criticizing lax sentencing of man who murdered cousin. Money transfers proof that Crocus terrorists for hire followed orders from Ukraine. A headline for every day of April 2024. Ukraine turned into Afghan drug lords' paradise under Western watch. Privacy experts warn the public against digital enslavement as Amazon launches new app for pay by Palm services. Bullets, batteries, and more. 13 bartering items to stock up on while preparing for the financial crash. NASA warns solar storms could cause internet apocalypse by 2025. Man who shot up Trump Hotel in 2018 claims he was Diddy's sex slave. Not happy with state of America. The Rock says he won't openly endorse Biden. Democrats block amendment to require informing people if they're eating bugs. Elon Musk defies Brazil court ruling to block top X accounts, vows to expose government censorship. Insurers spy on houses via aerial imagery seeking reasons to cancel coverage. 15 U.S. agencies knew Wuhan lab was trying to create a coronavirus like COVID-19, says Rand Paul. Trump exposes letter from Stormy Daniels admitting affair never happened. FBI entrapped 18-year-old Idaho man into botched church attack in yet another false flag plot. World War alert. U.S. sending troops to Middle East in hopes of deterring Iran attack on Israel. Iran begins attack on Israel by launching dozens of suicide drones. Whistleblowers to further dismantle January 6 National Guard narrative about Trump. John Kirby flounders when asked. Biden called on Iran not to retaliate, but they did anyway. What does that tell you? GOP lawmakers grill Mayorkas over ties to NGO, urging illegals to vote for Biden in 2024 election. U.S. Air Force Secretary admits less than a third of Lockheed's F-35s operationally capable. Iran warns Israel it knows where its nukes are hidden. UK thought police enter man's home over Christians need to stand up social media post. U.S. military pits man against machine in world's first human versus AI dogfight, refuses to say who won. America's shift to green energy will collapse the power grid and cause rolling blackouts. The ghost of Hitler is being used by the globalists to trigger a new world war. Australian senator calls for Elon Musk's arrest for defending free speech. Whistleblower says CIA collaborated with China to release COVID-19. NASA Director Bill Nelson says far side of moon is always dark. Instant karma. 40-year Navy vet shot and killed by cops as he pulled gun while trying to meet children for sex. Biden voter brags, illegals are coming here. they're gonna want to vote. They're gonna vote Democrat, and we're gonna win. EU approves severe limits on cash transactions. Influencer blasts COVID jab after cardiologist claim responsible for heart attack. A headline for every day of May 2024. AstraZeneca admits its vaccine could cause potentially fatal side effects. Your globalist bank is an active enemy combatant plotting against you in a financial civil war and political purge. Trump delivers pizza to NYC firefighters after day in court. Prosecutors admit Trump evidence has been tampered with in stunning revelation. I'm sick myself. CNN's Chris Cuomo says he has suffered side effect from COVID shot. Nightmare bombshell. Bill Gates confesses to illegally testing nanobots on humanity via mRNA injections. I'll make that sacrifice any day. Trump says Constitution more important than jail as judge threatens imprisonment. Trump classified document trial postponed indefinitely days after mishandled evidence bombshell. Bird flu likely to infect more humans, Bloomberg claims. Polish PM Tusk hijacks parliamentary debate to accuse conservative opposition of being Russian paid servants. Even if it's full term, RFK Jr. clarifies his support for abortion even at the point of birth. Your tax dollars at work. In 2 years, $7.5 billion has produced just 7 EV charging stations. Ashley Biden confirms diary is real in letter to judge. The religious orientation of trans ideology. Trump's private Boeing hits another jet at Florida airport. Trinity of Satan. King Charles III's official portrait is clearly demonic. Garland and Wray launch election threats task force, sparking censorship concerns for 2024. NATO members considering sending troops to Ukraine. Wearing face masks did nothing to reduce risk of infection with COVID Omicron variant, says new study. Joe Biden claims he was vice president during the pandemic. Almost 50% of small businesses say they're not going to survive a second Biden term. U.S. government cartel paid CVS and Walgreens billions to reject ivermectin prescriptions and push COVID shots. Employee sues hospital that fired her for reporting COVID vaccine injuries to VAERS. Technocrats developing new line of wearable AI devices to track data of user and anyone they came in contact with. This isn't a conspiracy. Watch RFK Jr. lay out how and why the CIA killed his uncle. Jordanian who tried to ram Marine base entered U.S. illegally via southern border. Nearly 50% of Americans believe they'll live to see climate change destroy the Earth. Israel seizes equipment from the Associated Press in latest assault on free speech and the press. Former Biden Homeland Security official criticizes free speech, cites disinformation impact on election security. Paralyzed, then drowned. Veteran exposes the terrifying method used to euthanize people in Canada. Canadian parents set to keep kids home from school for beginning of Gay Sex Pride Month. A headline for every day of June 2024. Illegals installing hidden cameras in U.S. neighborhoods to spy on homes targeted for burglary. Feds attempting to shut down InfoWars tonight. Trump raises $200 million in 3 days since hush money verdict. Meta begins training AI on users' data, but makes it difficult to opt out. University forced retraction of study linking COVID shot with cancer risk, co-author says. U.S. conducts second Minuteman III ICBM test in a week. Walmart faces social media backlash over Pride Always collection for Pride Month. Mexico disputes WHO claim of world's first human bird flu death. Overweight children suffer reduced intelligence, says new study. Australian Senate launches landmark excess death inquiry following COVID shot rollout. The deep state will be arrested after Trump election pledges Steve Bannon. Fauci is called to testify on accusations of COVID speech suppression. Survivor of CIA MK Ultra program launches new initiative to fight sex trafficking. Court rules success kid meme used in political ad does not qualify as fair use. Automatic draft registration passes House of Representatives. Global economic crisis, Saudi Arabia dumps the dollar. Broken promises, Canada's censorship law targets user-generated content despite assurances. Saudi Arabia drifts away from Washington and the dollar. Surgeon General Murthy advocates for digital ID to combat online misinformation and protect youth. Wall Street to list America's protected public lands, including national parks and wildlife refuges, on New York Stock Exchange starting November 17th. 6 infant formulas test positive for 5 toxic heavy metals. Biden admins pushed Amazon to censor anti-vax books during pandemic. New video shows Saudi official plotting 9/11 attacks in Washington, D.C. British couple killed to make witchcraft potions in South Africa. Biden campaign launches task force to combat alleged cheap fakes, urges media support. Clinton advisor says CNN's objective is to take Trump down at debate. The queen of gaslighting, Karine Jean-Pierre, claims inflation is low. Hillary Clinton attempting to replace Biden with Robert Barnes. There's time for that, Biden quips as crowd chants lock him up about Trump. Baby bottle makers accused of deceiving parents about dangers of microplastics in their products. A headline for every day of July 2024. Critical intel. Deep state now in civil war against itself for control of America. Brace for false flags. Nickelodeon features drag queen and latest LGBTQIAAP2S+ pride grooming video for kids. Beat these female dogs in heat with a stick. French rappers release ultra-violent music video threatening to assault Marie Le Pen and kill Jordan Bardella. White House defends labeling critical Biden videos as deepfakes. Trump wishes happy 4th of July to all, including our highly incapable president. Biden says, I'll only drop out if the Lord Almighty comes down and tells me that. Trump granted delay in classified documents case. Supreme Court ruling downgraded January 6 from insurrection to trespassing, says legal expert. Explosion rocks Arkansas weapons factory that produces missiles and other armaments for Ukraine. EU reportedly to issue final warning to X under censorship law, risks 6% revenue fine. Germany. Prosecutors launch investigation after foreign ministry accused of issuing fraudulent visas for Afghans and Lebanese migrants. Newly empowered French leftist coalition to introduce 90% income tax rate. Restriction on Trump's Instagram and Facebook accounts to be lifted. Police ignored repeated warnings about gunman eyewitness claims. Biden cognitively engaged for only a couple hours each day, aides confirm. The desperate deep state is going to try to kill Trump again, warns Roger Stone. Members of Biden's impenetrable inner circle filter negative information to keep him thinking he's awesome. Biden to propose term limits and new code of ethics for the Supreme Court. Apple warns of cyber attack targeting 1.46 billion Apple devices. Russia warns it sees concentrated presence of NATO warships in Black Sea. Hillary Clinton to replace Joe Biden as Democrat nominee at DNC. Secret Service Director Kim Cheadle, a close friend of the Biden crime family. Jill's office recommended her for the position. Fox News hosts wonder if Biden is dead after forged signature exposed. John Deere abandons woke DEI corporate policies following backlash from conservative activists. Democrats urge OpenAI to allow government access to models before they go public. FBI director claims Trump may not have been hit by bullet, winning gold medal for the gaslighting Olympics. Satanic 2024 Paris Olympics opening ceremony accused of mocking Christianity with trans Last Supper. Kamala Harris suggested young people shouldn't have children because of climate change. Top LGBTQIAAP2S+ group declared transitions were medically necessary to manipulate insurance companies. Bohemian Club uses copyright strikes to scrub ritual footage. Mark Milley says robots could make up a third of the U.S. military by 2039. A headline for every day of August 2024. Biden-Harris task force urges online age verification digital ID tool development. Chinese man arrested for trespassing at Mar-a-Lago claims Chinese government linked to assassination attempt. Deep state planning to undermine 2024 election integrity under cover of pre-planned cyber attack. UK PM Keir Starmer uses riots to call for mass surveillance and social media censorship. Tommy Robinson gives major update live. UK government paying provocateurs to trigger riots. Top Democrat confesses to plan to overthrow U.S. government and trigger civil war when Trump is reelected. Trump pledges to cut federal funding for schools pushing critical race theory and trans insanity. Expect Tim Walz to drop out after being caught in massive stolen valor scandal. The Soros Antifa onslaught is coming. Trump plays compilation of Kamala Harris's incoherent word salads during rally. Fire breaks out at nuclear power plant after Ukrainian attack. Democrats are using AI to make Harris-Walz rallies look bigger. Specialist UK police teams target hate on social media. Letitia James demands big tech curb election misinformation. Global bombshell. Naomi Wolf warns we are already under martial law. Foreign armies now inside the United States. Kamala Harris officially steals Trump's economic program. Of course she will betray her followers. U.S. has the lowest life expectancy among wealthy English-speaking countries. Eric Schmidt's AI think tank urges NATO to monitor disinformation in real time, coordinate responses. Italian state media reporter apologizes over Nazi SS broadcast. Key intel. Learn who is really in control of the Harris-Biden White House. Trump vows to rehire service members fired for refusing COVID jab with back pay. Facial recognition continues to proliferate at concerts and festivals. An era of shock events is coming, says WEF. Telegram founder Durov arrested by French police. Mike Benz says U.S. State Department behind arrest of Telegram CEO. Green Beret Colonel says the consensus is in. The deep state tried to assassinate Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Pope Francis says deliberately opposing migration is a grave sin. U.S. to give Zelensky free hand on deep strikes into Russia, says Moscow. Censorship is a certainty if Dems win, Musk speaks out as Twitter banned in Brazil. A headline for every day of September 2024. Biden and Harris resume taxpayer-funded secret illegal alien flights into U.S. NBC's Kristen Welker falsely claims Kamala Harris attended dignified transfer of 13 soldiers killed in Afghanistan. Another activist behind LGBTQIAAP2S+ propaganda in schools convicted of child abuse. Rothschild help Ukraine clinch debt restructuring. California's new AI law proposals could impact memes. Texas court strikes down teen content ban while keeping digital ID checks in place. Missouri Health Department reports human bird flu case with no exposure to animals. Insane. Venezuelan gang members released on a $1,000 bond after shooting in Aurora. Tony Blair urges global regulation of social media to curb hatred. Surveillance for sale? House Republicans challenge Biden on data broker exploitation. Warning. Weaponized weed deployed to warp the minds of the masses. Use at your own risk. Venezuela's socialist dictator Nicolas Maduro moves celebration of Christmas to October 1st. Australia's latest censorship bill threatens big fines over online misinformation. Desperate deep state leader Senator Blumenthal prepares the public for massive Trump assassination attempt news. Rhinos join pledge to certify election, whatever the result. Trump assassin wrote 300-page screed calling for Trump's assassination and nuclear war. Bill Gates wants to shape AI and misinformation control, and Oprah is all ears. Putin sees weakness in Western culture, and most Americans don't realize it because they're chronically sick and brain-numbed. Hungary falsely accuses manufacturing pager bombs in Lebanon, but now the trail leads to Bulgaria. Woman speaks out after arrest over Britain's new chilling misinformation censorship laws. DHS warning that foreign hit teams are planning to assassinate Trump may be cover for their own operation. Trump rejects Kamala's CNN debate challenge. She sees the polls. She's losing badly. 60% of young people with myocarditis from COVID vax had heart damage 6 months later. Democrats terrified of hand-counting ballots. Ex-Dem rep calls it danger to democracy. Leftist triggered after Trump helps mother of 3 pay for groceries with a $100 bill. Rats fleeing sinking ship. Dirty lawyer Michael Cohen to leave USA with foreign passport under new name if Trump reelected. Biden sends $8 billion more to Ukraine 3 days after Zelensky campaigned for Kamala. 400 children a day trafficked across U.S. southern border. The New World Order wants to feed you crushed roaches and call it milk. A headline for every day of October 2024. COVID booster shot efficacy becomes negative after 1 month. Canadian government agency admits COVID-boosted individuals died more. The World Bank seeks to replace your signature with biometrics. COVID-vaccinated kids are 6 times more likely to die than non-vaccinated kids. Victims of Hurricane Helene confirm the federal government is purposely blocking rescuers and stealing aid in an attempt to keep deep red areas from voting. Senator Lindsey Graham pivots to Israel after being asked about Hurricane Helene victims. Toddlers getting half their calories from ultra-processed foods. COVID shots cause blood clots in the lungs, says case study. Trump campaign demands 60 Minutes release full Kamala interview after network caught deceptively editing her remarks. Marjorie Taylor Greene shares CBS News report admitting weather could be controlled with lasers. Exclusive breaking terror alert. Secret Homeland Security memo warns of Ukrainian-connected terror attacks in U.S. during and after the 2024 election. Jon Stewart claims Americans don't need guns to protect their constitutional rights. Top Democrats say they'll refuse to certify elections if Trump wins. Top rapper/record producer says black men won't be shamed or bullied into voting for Kamala. Dems claim Trump lost and confused on stage in latest anti-MAGA fake news. Unsustainable. Indiana residents should alarm after city overwhelmed by illegals. German news publication claims Ukraine could have nuclear weapons within weeks. Stephen A. Smith blasts Obama for attempting to shame black men into voting for Kamala. Kamala Harris is the only presidential nominee to skip the Al Smith dinner since Walter Mondale lost 49 states to Ronald Reagan in 1984. Would you like memes with that? Trump's epic shift at McDonald's dominates internet. Tim Walz says Trump's McDonald's visit shows the workers' disrespect. Witches casting spells on Trump upset he has some kind of protection around him. Democrat senator candidate accidentally shoots reporter with AR-15 at campaign event. Coked up Kamala video goes mega viral as internet speculates Dem nominee high on drugs. CNN panel explodes after Kevin O'Leary points out Kamala chosen by Pelosi and Dem elites. Archbishop says Kamala Harris is an infernal monster who obeys Satan. New York Mayor Adams says stop calling Trump a fascist. Multiple ballot drop boxes set on fire in 2 states. FBI now investigating. Ex-State Department Under Secretary of State Victoria Nuland claims Musk and X are Putin's new powerful tool for interfering in U.S. election. Ballot drop box fire sparked by devices with Free Gaza message, yet police have not determined a motive. A headline for every day of November 2024. J.D. Vance joins Joe Rogan for epic 3-hour discussion about how MAGA can save America. Alex Jones breaks down inside scoop on Tucker Carlson being physically attacked by a demon. White House altered transcript of Biden's garbage remark. There are no watchers. RNC sues Georgia County over last-minute decisions to accept weekend ballots and block GOP observers. Satanic abortion destruction rituals institutionalized in the USA. Bitter Biden refuses to attend Kamala's election night watch party. DOJ and Jack Smith to end weaponized cases against Trump in wake of landslide election victory. COVID 2.0, new monkeypox variant in UK and 40 rhesus monkeys escape Carolina research facility. Unhinged woman shaves heads and declares celibacy in name of psychotic 4B movement following Kamala defeat. F me, I was wrong. Jon Stewart says Democrats didn't expect Trump to win 2024 election fair and square. J.D. Vance warns U.S. may withdraw NATO support if Europe tries to censor social media platforms. D.C. lawyer advising swamp creatures' clients to leave country ahead of Trump retribution campaign. I was paid nothing. Oprah denies $1 million payment by Harris campaign. Last episode, InfoWars could be shut down, toxic culture. Mega bombshell. Alex Jones to retain control of InfoWars and criminal investigation into bogus auction process launched. Schumer moves to silence criticism of Israel as hate speech with Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. Dem Senator on Hegseth Defense Secretary nomination were really at risk of politicized military. Rep. Thomas Massey says Biden greenlighting striking Russia on unconstitutional act of war and impeachable offense. Russia using nuclear weapon in Ukraine would collapse global economy, warns declassified intel document. Sonny Hostin awkwardly reads legal notice on air after making false claims about Trump AG pick Matt Gaetz. Russia threatens to attack U.S. missile base in Poland. Former Polish official claims Ukraine has stolen half of U.S. aid money, alleges they laundered funds back to Democrats. Are the majority of voters stupid? Navy's Indo-Pacific commander warns Ukraine aid is draining U.S. missile stocks. Massive nuclear escalation alert. Biden admin floats plan to give nuclear weapons to Ukraine in war against Russia, New York Times reports. World War III has never been closer. Probably shouldn't be saying this out loud. NIH chief admits COVID health initiatives completely made up. Russian central bank halts U.S. dollar purchases. World stunned by federal judge saying The Onion never bought InfoWars. Bankruptcy lawyer responds. West is planning on freezing conflict in Ukraine and stationing troops there. A headline for every day of December 2024. Russia strikes warehouse containing Western-made ATA-CMS Storm Shadow missiles. Majority of shoppers will rely on financing for Black Friday and Cyber Monday despite discounts. Pardon my hypocrisy. Memes rip Biden for Hunter's get-out-of-jail-free card. Police threaten man posting videos investigating mysterious Idaho booms. Biden admin mulling preemptive pardons for Fauci and reps Schiff and Cheney fearing imminent Trump prosecutions. Bezos goes MAGA, says optimistic Trump will boost economy by slashing regulations. Delusional parents say they began transitioning child at age 1, claim she knew since birth. Trump on Syria conflict. This is not our fight. U.S. life expectancy will plummet in world rankings by 2050. Jay-Z accused in lawsuit of raping 13-year-old girl in 2000 with Sean Diddy Combs. Trump trolls Governor Trudeau of the great state of Canada. Flashback. Expert raises alarm over fake alien invasion called Project Bluebeam. Mark Zuckerberg's Meta gives eye-popping $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund. Whoopi claims RFK Jr. fat-shaming people by pledging to make America healthy. Watch John Kirby doublespeak. Says UAPs do not pose threat, then asks Congress to grant more power to national security state to fight them. New theory. New Jersey drone sightings may be nuclear sniffers following elevated New York City radiation levels. Unidentified drones in America's skies smells like a false flag. House Administration Subcommittee on Oversight accuses Liz Cheney of tampering with January 6 witnesses, demands FBI investigation. Lawsuit claims Google linked AI chatbot incited teen to kill parents and sent hypersexual messages. Confirmed, the CIA did not take the mandatory COVID-19 vaccines. Study claims 90% of pregnant women and unborn babies who contract bird flu will die. Dozen eggs hit record high prices as bird flu ravages farms. U.S. scraps $10 million bounty on Syria's new al-Qaeda-linked leader after one visit from State Department. Kim Kardashian drops Satanic Fever Dream Santa Baby music video. Learn how Coca-Cola's creation of Santa Claus is key to understanding modern propaganda and brainwashing. Elon Musk's AFD endorsement triggers EU push for stricter censorship under Digital Services Act. Ex-NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg named new head of Bilderberg Group. Okay. Deep State stooge Schumer brags Democrats just stacked U.S. courts with far-left judges to thwart Trump. Tufts University offering Transcestors course next semester. National Archives releases picture of President Biden meeting Hunter's Chinese business partners. Biden's obvious cognitive decline, most underreported 2024 story, CBS News Roundtable admits.